we have a segment here what we call 7 p.m. moments, where it's a moment in your career, in your life. It doesn't have necessarily have basketball related, but a moment in your life where you said, all right, JJ, like, JJ's here, JJ's about to go here. For me to get here, I got to really lock in, man. And this is a moment in life that catalyzed that path.
How many ups and downs did you have in your career? Countless?
I probably had more ups and downs than successes.
Yeah. I feel like we all think of success in this linear way where it's like, we're here and we want to get here. Oh, I made this decision. Now I'm going to go here. And it just doesn't look like that. Like, I hope to get here, but I just feel like there's all these peaks and valleys within a season, within a career. I had multiple moments like that you're talking about. I think one for me would be after my sophomore year at Duke. Really struggled that year. Kind of hit like rock bottom. It was like basically hiding from people, like hiding from the coaching staff, hiding from my parents. I had like an incomplete that semester. I was really just like at this dude's apartment for like 2 weeks. The coaches found me, Wojo and Collins, who you know from USA Basketball. They found me, took me to coach's office. They got it like a plan for me, and I fell in love with the routine. But then, like, you know, I had two more good years in college, and then I didn't play my first 2 years. So after that second year, it was like, I got to change my body. I got to get in better shape. I got to be the best conditioned athlete. So I went back to Duke, trained that whole summer. I played my third year. It wasn't a great year. I was still in and out of the rotation at times, you know, and then fourth year, I finally like played every game. So like those moments, it wasn't like I did it and then I had immediate success or immediate rewards a month later. It took years and years and years to get to the point where someone like me could average 18 in the season, right? Yeah. And start and be a full-time starter. Like it wasn't one decision or one moment. It was just a series of them to hopefully get to the point where you're like, all right, I feel good about my career. I feel good. Did you feel it? Because I felt like other than winning a championship, I didn't leave anything on the table.
Yeah.
Meaning like I maximized what I had. Do you feel like you did that?
I feel like I did that for what I have.
Yeah.
Like I did the best that I can do with what was in front of me, with the cards that was dealt to me. I feel like I did the best with those cards that I can do. I mean, there's always room when you sit back and like, damn, I could have did that a little better or I could have did more.
Yeah.
But overall, I would say like I feel like I played my hand the best way that I can play my hand.
That makes sense.
So like, and going back to you, because you had a very specific role in the NBA throughout your whole career, right? A lot of players don't accept their roles like that. Like you were considered a role player, right?
Yeah.
And you was a role player and one of the best to do it. People don't want to accept that today. It's not cool to just be a JJ Redick and just running off screens. Also, the game is different today as well. What was the moment that you had to decide, like, damn, you know what, I'm going to take this. This is what they need me to do, and I'm going to be the best at this.
You know, to start my NBA career, it was just a matter of survival, where you legitimately think there's a chance you could be out of the league.
Yeah. And
I don't remember all the specific conversations we even had at like the McDonald's All-American game. I remember Evan Burns, great player, you know, had a bad knee injury in college, you know, didn't have an NBA career, but Evan was a really talented guy. And I remember, you know, all of us, we would have conversations around the NBA. And I just remember from that week, like, you know, whether it was Stat or you, CB, Chris Bosh, like, I remember just thinking to myself, like, how are these guys so sure they're going to play in the NBA? Like, you guys, it's such conviction that you're going to be an NBA player. I did not think that, right? It was not a thing. So when I first got to the league, I was very grateful. And then it became like, oh, how do I survive? But ultimately, I view basketball this way. I think everybody's a role player, Melo.
Yeah, indeed.
You had a role.
Absolutely.
Jason Tatum has a role. It's not the same role as Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah.
I think great players and great teams, they buy into whatever role they're given. And I know, like, even later on in your career, there were times where you're like, oh, I'm going to have to take on a different role with this group or with this
you gotta
team.
buy into that role.
And you have to buy into it. My first year in Philly, I averaged a career high. They came to me in preseason and they were like, we want to start Markelle Fultz. We want to bring you off the bench. We had just had the best 5-man lineup in the NBA this previous season.
Absolutely.
And I was a part of that lineup. And I was like, okay. Because I knew I'm still going to play 30 minutes a game. You know, he had Manu record some stuff about his role and transition to being a 6-man. And I was like, Brett, you don't need to even play that for me. Like, I'm all in. Like, if that's what you need for the team, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Right? I'm good. Like, I'm still going to finish games. You're still going to need my shooting. It's not that. So I always knew whatever the definition of like a role player. Like, I always knew it. I never thought I was going to be you or LeBron or Steph. Like, I never thought that. So it was easier, I think, for me because I didn't have this preconceived notion of like, I'm going to the league and I'm going to be an all-NBA player. I was like, I would love if I could play in the NBA and have a good, long career.
Yeah. But at a certain point, it became reality. When did it become reality for you when you were like, yo, I'm going to the league? Was it like, I'm going to suit up and go to the draft? What is it? You know what I mean?
He was going to the league, man.
You know what I'm saying?
He was going to the league.
The humble, I love the humble shit, JJ. I love the humble shit, but like, be real. Like, you were like at Duke.
It was in the span of a year. Sophomore year, we lose to UConn. I had to, again, I had struggled that whole year, and I get on the plan, which was basically like hour by hour schedule. Started seeing a therapist, and a year later, ACC Player of the Year, ACC Tournament MVP, Rupp National Player of the Year. I go out to the Wooden Award because that was the week after the Final Four. All the other awards were at the Final Four, so I go out to LA for the Wooden Award, and it's like me. Bogut ended up winning. I was second. It was me, Bogut, I think Sean May, a couple other guys. And Sean and I were friends from McDonald's All-American game.
Yep.
And even though he went to UNC. So we were hanging out that whole week, and he had an agent meeting. And he was like, yo, come to lunch. I'm meeting with such and such agent. I was like, okay. And I went to the lunch, and they're talking. My dad was out there, and I was like, Dad, should I be talking to an agent? Should I be thinking about going to the NBA? That was in a year. I'm the national player of the year in college, and I'm still like, should I be? Should I? So like at that moment, now you start seeing yourself on mock drafts and shit, and you're like, oh, okay, I think I'm going to be an NBA player. I still decided to go back to Duke, but like I knew after my junior year I was going to have a chance. But at the beginning of my junior year, coming off my sophomore year, I took Italian, so that if I had to go play overseas, I knew a language. I'm dead serious, bro. I'm dead serious.
So you seen all this press, all this stuff, and you still in your head, you're like, yo, I don't know if this could go left.
I
don't
like making assumptions. I don't like making assumptions.
Shit was not going left. Yo, basketball season might be wrapping up soon, but Prospects has got you covered when it comes to help you make some bread during the playoffs.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Prospects is a daily fantasy app where you can select 2 or more players, pick more or less on his projected stats, and turn $25 into $250. Prospects is very simple to play. I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds.
So be sure to visit prospects.com/7pm and use our promo code 7pm for a deposit match up to $100. In the meantime, stay locked in to 7pm in Brooklyn.